Guys, Bitcoin has dropped for 9 weeks in a row, and this has never happened in its history before. However, it started this week with a price recovery slightly above 32k, and for many, this is a signal that the correction is finally over. Let's figure out together, is it time to buy, or is it just another market trap? And now the most important thing is to save your own money. We will start with the price analysis. On a 4-hour chart, we see Bitcoin's attempt to move to a local uptrend. The chart shows that after the volatility compression on the Bollinger Bands, an upward momentum started, which raised the price to 32,000, but it's now somewhat correcting. Take into account that I need time to edit the video, so your price on the chart will be slightly different. RSI shows that the current top of the momentum is reached. Bitcoin is in the overbought zone, and the bulls need to gather new strength to continue growth. A sign that the growth continues will be the first cryptocurrency to keep its price above the middle of the Bollinger Bands channel. If the rate touches this line and then returns to increase, it'll be the first sign of the local uptrend formation. The following confirmation of the bulls' plans should be the exit from the consolidation, where Bitcoin has been trading since early May, and it's at the level of $31,700. If it gets higher, it'll be possible to talk about a solid local rebound. As you understand, I do not give financial advice, but only share my personal observation about the market based on my own interpretation of what information the chart provides. So there is no confirmation yet that we're moving even to local bullish growth on the daily chart. You can see that the compression of volatility on the Bollinger Bands is even better now than it was in late April, before the drop in early May to 26,000. And you can also see that, despite the preparation of the momentum, the direction is still not chosen, although the presence of the price in the upper boundary of the channel gives a greater possibility in favor of growth. The force of this impulse could be enough to test strength of the current downtrend, which is 34,000 right now. And this may not be the limit. In the second part of the video, I'll tell you about the scenario with a much higher Bitcoin growth. The expansion of Bitcoin itself happens against the background of the closed stock market. This Monday is a day off in the US, and the stocks will not press the rate of the first cryptocurrency. In addition, last week, they stopped a 7-week series of declines in the S&P 500. Maybe it's time for Bitcoin to interrupt its series too. As a reminder, there is no confirmation yet that Bitcoin has really turned to local growth. The first target is 31,700 and the next one is 34,000. If these expectations turn out wrong, and we'll see a movement that we had at the beginning of May, then get ready for a renewed bottom in Bitcoin, and it could be a drop to 25,000 or lower. And if you want to see more of my forecasts, support me by giving this video a thumbs up. And next, let's talk about which trend is our friend. Everyone chooses their own approach to market analysis. My strategy is to look at the chart in the direction the current trend is going and figure out how long it'll last on macro factors. And you can have a completely different method. There's never one right solution. The main thing is, it works specifically in your case. You can, for example, use various models and indicators from analysts. Many of them now show that the current Bitcoin price is highly profitable to buy in terms of long-term investments. Here's, for instance, a new forecast from PlanB. In his understanding, buying Bitcoin at 29,000 now is as beneficial as buying back from the bottom in 2015 or 2018. And Bitcoin has several such indicators, all of them just screaming about the need to buy. But if you examine them in detail, you realize that none of them guarantees that by purchasing the bottom, you won't get a second bottom as a gift. Because the price is favorable today, and tomorrow it might get even better in the sense of even lower. The only question is whether you can survive it. Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy believes he can. In a recent interview, he said that the company buys Bitcoin when it has spare cash. And he confirmed that his long-term strategy is to always buy Bitcoin. Here's his answer to the question of whether you can lose money buying Bitcoin. No, because Bitcoin is money. So long-term Bitcoin deal is still excellent, but there is a question of when it'll start to bring us profit. And here we should look at the current market trend, which is still bearish. The crypto market indicator in the form of a 21-week MA and just a trend line shows that Bitcoin in the next 2 weeks may try to return the price of around $38,000. And then, with more probability, there will be a new collapse and the search for the bottom in the area of 25,000. Because based on the macro factors, we have no reason to end the bear market now. Basically, the US does not print dollars and is not gonna do it again in the near future. The Fed's priority now is to strangle inflation, so they will raise the rate and withdraw liquidity from the market. People simply won't have the money to buy Bitcoin in that environment. In addition, investing in it will look dangerous because there is a simple and well-working pattern in financial markets. When the Fed raises the rates, risky assets lose value at the same time. By the way, you should keep in mind 2 key dates for the near future. The first one is July 11th, when the US inflation data will be released. The inflation rate slowed down a month earlier, but it might just be the calm before the storm, and the interest rate decision of the Fed will depend on it. And it'll be made on June 15th, and so far everyone's waiting for it to be raised by 0.5% again. I'm not counting on the rise of Bitcoin prices right now due to the weakening of the dollar index. There is a pattern that Bitcoin and stocks go up when the dollar drops. But the current decline in the dollar index, which has lasted the last 2 weeks, cannot be called a trend reversal. For now, it's a legitimate correction in the upward movement, which is caused by too rapid recent growth. As I've mentioned before, the Fed is raising the rate and will not turn on the money printing press. This is a factor for the dollar's rise, which is a negative factor for the risky assets because they usually fall during such periods. Eventually, factors independent of Bitcoin but affecting all financial markets point to a continued bearish trend, and Bitcoin itself has yet to offer why it should be urgently bought now, as it was several times last year with Tesla, Coinbase, and the Bitcoin ETF futures. And I'm sure you know what I'm gonna say next. If such an occasion arises, I'll be the first to report it as soon as possible on our YouTube channel. But so far, there is no reason for that. And we need to keep in mind the scenario for a local Bitcoin recovery. I already gave you all the key levels. Remember, if there's gonna be a rise, for now, it looks like a short-term story in a global bear market. Thanks for watching, your Coin Post.